Alexander II seemed to recognize the need for reform, seeing that the conscript army of peasants was not up to the task of winning modern wars, no matter how many bodies were thrown into battle. One of his advisors, Boris Chicherin, said of the Tsar, quote, called upon to execute one of the hardest tasks that confront an autocratic ruler, to completely remodel the enormous state which had been exhausted to his care, to abolish an age-old order founded on slavery, to replace it with civic decency and freedom, to establish justice in a country which had never known the meaning of legality, to redesign the entire administration, to introduce freedom of the press in the context of an untrammeled authority, to call new forces to life at every turn and set them on firm legal foundations, to put a repressed and humiliated society on its feet, and to give it the chance to flex its muscles. In 1856, Alexander II gave a speech where he said, quote, my intention is to abolish serfdom. You can yourself understand that the present order of owning souls cannot remain unchanged. It is better to abolish serfdom from above than to wait for that time when it starts to abolish itself from below. I ask you to think about the best way to carry this out. In 1858, he removed many censorship restrictions, calling for, quote, glasnost, or open discussion. And in 1861, he followed through on his words and emancipated around 23 million Russian serfs, giving them citizenship rights that allowed them to marry without the consent of their landlord, to purchase the property they were living on through a repayment program, and even to start a business separate from their landlord. The nobles were unhappy, but they were also not in a position to resist, as roughly one-third of their property and two-thirds of the property they leased to the peasants were mortgaged to the state. And it should be noted that the serfs on state land were not given the same rights until 1866. History is awkward.